Charlie Kirk is officially dead. Now let's look at the facts. This old random white man, he was not the shooter. Who was the shooter? Most likely whoever was on this roof. And to me, this is a professional hit. 200 yards out, hitting somebody in the neck.
Yo, this is getting way too crazy. What's scarier than the TikToks we're about to watch today is the fact that 90% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe for more scary videos.
So allegedly, Cenat lost his Nike deal because of Jesus Christ. On a stream, he mentioned Jesus Christ and how Jesus was his Lord and Savior, and he wore a Jesus Christ shirt. Following those events, allegedly, him and Nike decided that it would be mutual, that they go their separate ways. Y'all do know that in these contracts on the world stage, they put in your contracts that you cannot say the name Jesus Christ. You can be any other religion, okay? You could follow any other God, but if you mention that name, Jesus Christ, you will be gone. Your contract will be null and void. Now, I wonder, why is it that people can't say the name Jesus Christ or follow Jesus Christ? I just wonder why it is. It's because Jesus said that if the world hates you, know that it hated him first. Okay, and if you were of the world, they will love you as their own. If he was of the world, they would love him as his own. But he mentioned Jesus, so now they backtrack. We've seen it with the sports people who give thanks to Jesus. They cut off the broadcast. We've seen it in Hollywood where they blaspheme his name. We've seen it in contracts where you can't say the name. But here's what I will say. Kudos to Kai, because every single celebrity or influencer or artists that I've seen in this position, they will 100% compromise. He did not fold, and
He moved into a haunted house, then this happened. A man named Noah moved into a haunted house that was built in 1887 and was originally owned by Judson Hood, the mayor of Lancaster in South Carolina, and all 4 of his family members died inside this house. His wife Mary Polk Hood died in October of 1917 after falling down the stairs, where strange things have been happening for Noah. On one night he wakes up to some strange sounds.
Hello? If you can hear me, please stop. Why are you going faster? Oh, fuck no.
Over time, Noah gradually became more fed up with the sudden banging late at night. On another night, he heard the sounds again, but this time he went down the stairs to the first floor and something creepy happened.
Are you trying to say something? Or are you just trying to fucking keep annoying me?
A disembodied voice can be heard saying what sounds kind of like hello right next to Noah. Now these strange events continued for a long time, and roughly 3 years later, a fire broke out in the house for unknown reasons. A rug inside somehow caught on fire, and the event itself was reported in the news at the time. Luckily, someone passing by noticed it, and it was extinguished fairly quickly, without too much damage. Given the fact that the fire department investigated thoroughly and were unable to discern the cause of the fire and all the other strange things in the house, Noah began to fear deeply that something was wrong. He believed that the spirit of Mary was haunting the house and was responsible for the fire in an attempt to end his life. Realizing the severity of the situation, Noah decided it's time to move out before it's too late. And it was a very wise decision, because very shortly after its new owners moved in, this happened. A fire broke out again, this time massive. The flames spread and burnt the whole house down, leaving nothing but damaged framework behind. And once again, nobody was able to determine the cause of the fire. The only thing they knew was that it started around 3 a.m. Luckily, nobody was injured and the family managed to get out safely. So did the Hood family haunt the place after all of them losing their lives in the house? Let me know what you think.
Story has a lot of plot twists to it, so it's kind of hard to tell, like, you know, whether it's just coincidental or if this is some paranormal activity going on. Because there was one fire that happened before that was very unexplainable, and, you know, a lot of people are just going to say that's a coincidence because there's no way to prove that it wasn't anything other than that. You know, there's always people that'll do crazy things for attention, so you never really know in this world. But the fact that another family moved in and this same incident took place and got even worse just kind of shows you that this might not be coincidental. There's a dark story rooted to this house, so it would not be far from the truth that this could have been some paranormal activity from the people that have previously passed away there. Maybe this really is tied to some paranormal activity and there's something a lot deeper than we know going on. So you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Charlie Kirk is officially dead. Now let's look at the facts. This old random white man, he was not the shooter. I am sorry, but at the same time, why was he walking around in handcuffs screaming, shoot me, shoot me? That was just a little egregious and misleading. Who was the shooter? Most likely whoever was on this roof. And to me, this is a professional hit. 200 yards out, hitting somebody in the neck, that's not your regular shot. This man's trained. Another angle then captured that same person from the roof moving, grooving, bobbing, sliding up out of there after the shot was fired. That's the shooter, because it's clearly not his security. The question comes, who did it and why, and what was their reason, and what could they have to gain? And Cash Patel, he said, well, we have the shooter in custody, but they're not releasing any information. So immediately that tells me either it doesn't fit their narrative, or they're trying to figure out who they want the shooter to be. Sorry, I'm putting my conspiracy tinfoil hat on already. Now, the radical left, you could say they absolutely hate Charlie, they wanted to kill him, and that was the reason that they took him out. But what would they gain from that, other than loss of support, people calling them lunatics, and most likely losing the midterm? You're right. Well, there are pros and cons. Well, now they have a legendary martyr who has died for his voice and his opinions, who's like, oh, we're using him as an example. And now, no one asked about the Epstein files, and there's the blue and white, who took out JFK and who also took out the USS Liberty, who they still try to deny it to this day. But what would their reasoning be? Well, Charlie has finally started to speak out against them and try to say, well, I still want to be America first, not Israel first. And now we are all turned against each other and we are on the brink of civil war. So win-win. It's like in 9/11 when BB the bomber came right out on camera and said, well, we think this is a good thing for America because now they're going to help us. The fact he was even on Israel's side makes me sick to my stomach and makes me kind of worried if you're going to go to hell. But at the same time, maybe he was just brainwashed, God going to forgive you. Now, who was it? I don't know. But I'm going with one of them three for sure. And I know it's weird because we had everything about Trump shooter within the hour. The people celebrating his death and wondering why I am not, because this is somebody that was exercising his free speech. He was literally at a college debating people. You had the chance to make him look stupid. Was he hateful? Was he a little bit racist? 100%. I don't think you should be shot in cold blood for that. Beat up? Sure. Run the ones? Throw them gloves on? 1000%. But to celebrate somebody using their free speech and giving other people the chance to use their free speech, even if it's an ideology I do not align with, this isn't the answer. Because what we're not realizing, he's the nice version. There's more people on this side of the spectrum that are way worse, way more racist, and way more violent. When I think of Malcolm X's quote of the chickens coming home to roost, this is what I think about. Not Charlie Kirk, not a talking puppet, somebody that's actually currently funding a genocide and carrying out violence and is puppeteering our entire government. While all this was happening, we had another school shooting take place, which lets me know 1000% we have a gun problem. I know there's going to be people, well, guns don't kill people, people kill people. Well, have that same sentiment for drugs then, because all of a sudden we want to kill drug dealers, but drugs don't kill people. People that take drugs, they die. They overdose. I didn't like you one bit, but I'm still going to say rest in peace because you are someone that I would like to have debated and made look stupid, not killed in cold blood.
How many times have you woken up in the middle of the night and you'll see a pile of clothes, but to you, it appears as like a shadow person or, you know, a man standing there. But then when you do a double take and look back, it's a pile of clothes. What if I were to tell you that actually was a spirit? You were seeing a ghost, but your mind, right, in order to make sense of what you just seen, found something similar for you to focus on to give you the illusion that, right, you didn't see a ghost. We see ghosts all the time. We just don't realize it. There was a girl, and one day she's laying in her bed. When she looks up, her eyes kind of adjust, and she sees a man standing at the foot of her bed. But when she rubs her eyes again, she looks closer. It's just a pile of clothes. Every night, right, she wakes up, and she keeps thinking that pile of clothes is a person. But she realizes, you know, it's just a pile of clothes, so she starts just not paying it any attention. Then one night, she wakes up, she sees the pile of clothes, thinks it's a person, and realizes, I have to get up and go to the bathroom. So when she gets out of bed and she walks towards this pile of clothes, she kind of pushes on it. But that's when she realizes she is feeling a chest. And she could feel like arms, and she could feel the muscle on the arms. And she realizes, like, wait a second, there is a person standing there. And when she runs over to her door and turns the light on, it's just a pile of clothes there. She goes and, throws the clothes down. There's nothing there. So, you see, we could be seeing spirits all the time. We're just not fully aware to it because our mind is trying to rationalize for us and keep us from experiencing anything supernatural.
Lady Gaga is currently going viral because of how demonic her performance at the VMAs were. Some people are saying this was more demonic than when Sam Smith did his notorious performance at the VMAs. I mean, just take a look at this.
The category is James.
Usually when I make a video like this, people are saying, oh, there's a deeper meaning. This is art. This is beauty. No. There is no meaning behind this one. In my opinion, this is dark. People are trapped in cages dancing. Everyone is wearing red. All of the lights are red. And she is just playing this dark vibrational music. And she is saying, dance or die. Why can't we just make something enjoyable that makes you feel good and everyone is just laughing and dancing like music should be? What are we doing?
I feel like every day I see a new conspiracy about some sort of celebrity being weird or doing something that's kind of suspicious. And it's just so obvious now that they're using these people as a platform to push bad stuff on us. And I mean, obviously these people are in control of their actions to an extent, but a lot of people don't want to give up the money, power, and fame for, to go back to their normal life. So they would rather sell themselves out to the people that are in control and, just get the benefits from it, which is, really disturbing in my opinion. There's plenty of other ways to do things without doing that. I feel like you could be successful without selling your soul or your booty. There's just other ways. But yeah, y'all just be careful out there. There's a lot of weird people, a lot of crazy people. So yeah.
The paranormal chick here. Experiencing the loss of a loved one, it hurts on a level you can't even explain. And sometimes all we need is a sign that they're there, that they're watching us. This man recently lost his father on September 5th. Around 5:30 in the morning, he was leaving for work. His father had told them if he ever needed him, just to whistle. Well, as he leaves for work, take a look and listen to what this ring cam captures. I believe it was his father letting him know he's still there, he's still watching, and he loves him so much. Tell me what you think.
Have you ever heard talking or laughing or weird sounds while you're in the shower? Now, believe it or not, a lot of people have had paranormal experiences while in the shower. And I think it's because you have to understand that is when we are the most vulnerable, right? We're unclothed. We are not really focused on anything. And we sort of can't see anything around us. And I think when you have an encounter in the bathroom, it's usually something negative. Now, this is a story that comes out of Chicago. There was this young girl who lived with her roommate. And she said one day she's at the house, she's taking a shower, and So all of a sudden, as she's washing her hair, she sees a hand come around the curtain, and it's like moving. And she thinks this is her roommate who's just like messing around with her. So she starts slapping the hand and is like, "Stop it, get out of here. I'm trying to shower." And when she gets out of the shower and goes to see like what her roommate wanted or what she was doing, she realizes her roommate isn't even home. So she, is like, okay, that was really weird. Like maybe I don't know, was imagining it. About 2 weeks later, she once again is in the shower. And as she's taking a shower, she can see the shape of a man standing behind the shower curtain. And, she's terrified. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, what do I do in this situation? So she grabs the shower curtains and pulls them over, and there's no one there. Several other times, she would be in the shower and she would hear someone talking, or she would get the feeling that someone was touching her back, and she would look around and there was no one there. So this kept happening, and she, wondered, like, why is this happening to me? And like, why doesn't my roommate ever experience this? Until one day she's going out of her house and she talks to the neighbor. And the neighbor says, there used to be a young guy who lived here, and he dated a girl that looked just like you. And it's crazy. The young guy, he was in the shower, he slipped and fell, hit his head, and passed away.
Working the night shift, when he sees this, a security guard working the night shift was patrolling a building when suddenly, through the cameras, he begins to interact with what he describes as a lost little girl who is looking for her mother, hysterically crying in a dark room. You can see the guard trying to comfort her, assuring her they'll find her mother. But through the intercom, as he contacts the camera surveillance person, he makes a horrifying discovery. His coworker tells him to run out of there, that whatever he's seeing is not human. As the guard begins to feel doubtful, but unsure on what exactly to do, he begins to pace towards a dark hallway. But as he turns back, the little girl is nowhere to be found. Freaked out after realizing what just happened to him, he runs out of there.
I would say this video is fake, but one, they're at work, so I don't think they would play around like this, and two, this is on the security footage of the official business, so I feel like you can't really mess around with stuff like this. He seems genuinely concerned for the person. As you can tell, he even reaches out to comfort them. Anybody could fake a reaction, anybody could sort of fake this type of scenario, but you could tell that he genuinely felt sorry for this person, whoever it was. We know now that there was nobody there, which is very terrifying and kind of makes you question. And a lot of people could say, oh, his mind was just playing tricks on him, blah blah, but sometimes we all experience unexplainable things, and it makes it even more creepy that he reached out to the guy that's on surveillance and he told him to get out of there. And that kind of makes me believe that it's real too, because even after being told there's nobody there, he's still stuck around trying to care for this person. So that shows that he genuinely was looking out for somebody. But then, as you could tell, when he tries to leave, there's nobody there. He could have just been seeing things. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments.
Guys, we got more footage on the drummer who filed a restraining order on Beyonce for extreme witchcraft. She was a drummer for Beyonce for 5 years. Check out this clip.
Yeah, this restraining order was not done as a publicity stunt. I don't want anything, and I really want to make that clear. I want nothing to do with this person. This was not to up my career. This was not to jumpstart my drumsticks, my CDs, my music, my label. I don't want anything to do with this. If you even offered me money, if anybody was offering money for interviews, I would not take it. I don't want anything to do with this person. I want it dead. And it's even as far as me taking the legal matter and taking steps into putting it on writing and saying it, literally, that I don't want anything to do with this entire situation, with her money, with whatever she's got going on. I found a lot of my intellectual property stolen by her, my ideas, my drawings, the things I say, the things I do. She's even encouraged other celebrities to also steal and copy my ideas and things like that. So this has been a complete nightmare. I've been absolutely, I don't want to say the word rape, but just brutally abused with this entire situation of her trying to control everything that I'm doing and where I'm going. I mean, I've even traveled to different cities and been followed with this witchcraft stuff, and it's so it's completely compelled me to go into the light, go straight to God. Like, I don't need a third party, like, completely be very nice, be very loving, you know, step in light, you know, stay away from conflict, because there's negative energy going on, and I don't know who to trust anymore, like, at all. Not that I'm, like, paranoid or anything, but energetically now, because of this situation, I'm absolutely trained now to know who's good for me and who is not.
Poor woman, I can sense trauma there. It's also documented that she missed her court date, and many people ran with that, saying, I told you she was crazy, I told you she was lying. Well, she actually talked about why that happened.
So I actually filed 2 restraining orders, and I didn't go to court because I got a paperwork saying that the papers weren't delivered, and there was no court date. So that's why I didn't show up to court, quote unquote. And that court date actually had nothing to do with the situation that we're all very aware of at this time. So that's the truth. I just wanted to let you guys know. I filed 2 restraining orders, one where papers were served and they weren't acknowledged, they weren't picked up, and so they sent me a letter in the mail that I was very angry about, actually, saying that there was no court date because the papers couldn't be served properly. And the second one, you guys obviously know that it was denied, and then my paperwork was sold to the public and everything like that. So yeah, I'm just finding out from you guys writing me, so I wanted to totally...
So Kimberly Thompson didn't even want to be in the public eye. She filed a restraining order under the radar. That's why she doesn't even say Beyonce's name. The reporter who interviewed her said her name, but when she's talking to herself, she says, and you guys know the other person we're talking about. It's clear she doesn't want any publicity from it. She just really wants to be away from this individual. How scary is that? I know you're thinking to yourself, what? Beyonce can't be like that. She's so shy. She's so quiet. She's so timid in public. We seen her sister post an altar the other day. We seen a brother in the faith talking about years ago when he seen her sister in a witchcraft store buying all kind of different things for rituals. And the guy who worked there said all her family does rituals. Stop sticking up for celebrities because you worship them. Just because somebody comes out and says something and they're just normal doesn't mean you shouldn't automatically believe them, or doesn't mean you should automatically just cut them off. Let's make it normal to start looking into stuff. And prayers up for Kimberly Thompson. May the Lord heal her heart and give her peace. Amen.
You know, a lot of people don't realize that their home has a secret room. You see, a lot of older homes were built with these rooms that are hidden in the walls, in the basements, in the attics. And a lot of times people live there for years and years and years, and they don't even realize these rooms exist. Now, this story comes out of Peoria, Illinois. There was this younger girl. She moves into her first home. And she said, you know, it was built in like the 1920s. It was just this big, beautiful, like, you know, wooden home. And she said after a couple of weeks of living there, she was in bed one night when she starts to hear this knocking sound. And she said it was coming from the wall behind her bed. And she said, you know, it just kept going over and over again. Boom, 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 boom. And she said it sounded like there was a person in the wall. Well, she just figured maybe, you know, it's an older home. This is like raccoons or something. She hears it the next night and the next night. And then she starts hearing these sounds coming from the attic. And it sounds like stuff is crashing up there. And there is all this banging noise. And she said all around her house, she constantly could hear like banging sounds, like something was moving around in the walls. And she said she always got this feeling like she was being watched. Well, one night she said she started hearing like a whistling sound. And she's like, where is that sound coming from? She tracks it down to her living room, and she realizes the whistling is coming from within the living room wall. And she like puts her ear up to the wall, and she can like hear the whistling sound like perfectly. The next thing she knows, there's a knock at her front door. She opens the front door. It's her father. And he's like, oh my gosh, like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And she's like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, you just called me from your phone, and like, it sounded like you, but you were acting really weird. And then you hung up. I tried to call back, but the line was tied up. Like, you took the phone off the hook. And she goes, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I didn't call you, Dad. Like, I've been here. I've been hearing like this whistling sound coming from my wall. She goes into her bedroom where the phone is. She finds the phone is off the hook. So she's starting to get, you know, really freaked out by all of this. She starts having friends come over more often. Well, this particular night, her and her friends, they're kind of goofing around. when they accidentally put a hole in the wall. And her friend, he goes over to the wall and he's like, hey, like, look at this. And they find that there is this room hidden behind this wall. And she's like, you know, that's really creepy because I've been hearing sounds in the wall. So that night she goes to bed and she starts hearing this whistling sound. And she tracks the sound down to this hole in the wall. She's like, is there like someone behind there? She goes up to the hole in the wall. And when she looks in, she sees an eye staring back at her. She runs out of that place and she never went back.
So my mom passed in January. I've been having issues with these lights. They have not been working, but this morning when I came to check the temperature, the switch was up and they were on. These lights have not been working. Okay, well, I'm freaked out by that because I never turned that switch on because I know that's not working. Fine. Well, Mom, can you flash the light if that's you? Mom, can you flash the light back on? Can you flash the light back on? Oh, okay, God. Oh, fucking God.
This one will have to be looked into a little bit deeper because she never proved to us that these lights don't work, so it's kind of hard to tell whether she's telling the truth or not. When she clicked the light switch, it turned on, so, you know, we can only just take her word, and there are a lot of people that lie out there, so, you know, you got to take that very lightly. But the odd chance that this might be real, it is weird that when she said that the lights flickered, at first she didn't put the light in the camera, so it's kind of hard to tell whether it was her or if it was actually something going on. But for the most part, this video just kind of seems 50-50. I'm not too sure if it's real, not too sure if it's fake. It makes you wonder if there's really other things on this earth trying to communicate with us. You know, I guess we'll never know.
He was out fishing near the water when he sees the fish from his nightmares. A man named Landon was out fishing by a dock when he saw lurking below him this sinister looking face staring at him as it smiled. The man then gets a closer look and we can see that this creepy looking smile is actually just a fish. Many copy-pasted comments say it's a mason fish, which by Google's definition is a fish found in the Mason Lake. But aside memes, I have no idea what they are. This is an arapaima. Records show it's only drowned a couple people back in Malaysia. But yeah, God forbid a man have hobbies. Least he could do is inhale your fingers like in this pic.
Are diamonds rare?
I can get in trouble for this one. No, diamonds are not rare. Okay, there was a company called De Beers. This company, De Beers, came along, I believe they're out of England, and they started buying up the diamond mines until they reached a point that they could control the outflow of diamonds. My understanding is they really created the whole system of grading diamonds to kind of create this idea of value. Diamonds are relatively common. There's enough for everyone on the planet to have it. So all they really had to do was create a giant need for diamonds. Giant marketing campaigns. Convinced everyone that this was the stone to use for engagement rings.
If you love them, get them a diamond.
Oh, right, yeah. And by controlling the market on the diamonds, they could charge whatever they wanted and create all these different levels to give it the appearance of value. And so it was really incredibly brilliant. Now, my understanding is at this point, it's not so much that they're controlling it all now. But no, there are much, much rarer stones. Oh, far rarer. Tons of much rarer stones.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
I think that is one of the creepiest things that I have ever caught on camera and that I have ever experienced in my life. That sounds almost identical to my voice. Like, I thought it was 100%, and then I listened back to that recording and I was like, something's off. Which is the way it goes with these things. It's always almost correct. I was careful to not respond to it, and after I took that video, I walked away and came back later. But yeah, I guess it's using my voice on me now, which is weird. If this is even the same thing, who knows? We have a melting pot of paranormal things happening in this house and to me at all times. But yeah, that was creepy. I'm so glad that I started recording because
I've seen a lot of clips like this, and a lot of you guys in the comments have let me know that you've had similar experiences to this. You know, if you've experienced something like this, please let me know your story in the comments. You know, I'll read them and I'll get back to you because I'm actually really curious. I think I've only experienced something like this probably like one time, and I kind of just looked past it because, you know, I didn't want to you know, nobody wants to really think about that. But yeah, I feel like this could be a very real thing. It seems really out there and kind of like too crazy to be true, but you never know. So there was a lot going on in this video, but the real question should be, what is this guy doing in his house for this to happen? Like, I feel like in order to attract this sort of energy, you have to be doing like the most crazy stuff in your house. There's no way you wake up in the morning, get ready, you know, take a shower, eat your breakfast, go to work, come home, go to sleep, and then this just starts happening. Like, there's got to be something either tied to this house. You have to be doing something that's tied to you. Like, there's no reason your house just starts doing this. Like, you know, obviously this could be fake. You know, I don't get how people would even fake these videos. There's just so much going on at one time, and like, you feel like you'd catch something that's off or something that would make you be like, oh, okay, that's fake. Like, but this just seems like a bunch of nonsense going on all at the same time. So I don't know who he's got problems with, but he either needs to resolve that or just stay in his house, because, you know, nobody's trying to deal with all that.
Extraterrestrial, alien, or dimensional being caught on home security camera.
There's a spell that I was hired to do on multiple females. It gives them a voice of a lot higher range than what they naturally have.
I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight. What's scarier than the TikToks we're about to watch today is the fact that 90% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe for more scary videos.
Kid Cudi has come out and said that drugs led him to the basement of hell. Check out this clip.
I do cocaine. Don't do Molly. Don't do meth. Don't do heroin. You shouldn't try any of that shit. And it's gonna make you miserable. You're gonna be a shitty person. It's gonna f your creativity. It's gonna f with everything about your mental. This is the first time anybody's asked me what type of guidance I would give about drugs. There's no happy ending to that story. It'll just pull you down to the darkness, to hell. Literally, you will be at the basement of hell. And that's where I was for years, in the basement of hell, living there, maintaining, damaged and tortured. And that's what drugs will do to you. Even if you stop. That's how I relapsed. There was still a little voice in the back of my head that I was like, come on, let's try it again. Just take it easy this time, but let's try again. Once you let that demon in, he will make a home in your mind and will wait there. So young kids, if you're watching this, like, take it from the rager, steer clear, because life ain't that bad. You don't have to do hardcore drugs.
I think I never heard you being so vocal about that.
Nobody's ever asked me about that.
When a demon enters your mind, he will live there. That was deep. That was biblical. I don't even think he knows that. But it's so true, ladies and gentlemen. Drugs will destroy you. It may start off small, but then it continues to grow and grow and grow. That lets you know that it's spiritual. It may start off where you have control of it, but sooner or later it gets control of you. That lets you know it's spiritual. However, if you're in a space where it's in control of you right now, there is someone who can give you the key for you to be released, for you to come into liberty. There is someone who can give you the key for you to have authority, for you to have dominion, and that is Christ. Call out to the Lord Jesus Christ for you to be free.
I feel like a lot of the habits you pick up and things you do could lead you to places like this and open doors to places you weren't really intending on going. A simple habit that's just not good for you can turn into something a whole lot worse, and that's why you need to be careful of what's going on in your life. You know, because something can start as a small little habit, but it can bring you down a whole dark road, and you don't really want to go down that. So, and it really just depends on you as a person, because, you know, a lot of people can control themselves and, you know, they don't let themselves get to the point. But like, once the door's open, you know, anything can happen. So y'all just be safe, stay blessed, and yeah, just be careful.
There was a woman named Sarah who loved going to thrift stores. And one day when she happened to be at one of these thrift stores, she notices this beautiful vanity and mirror. And she absolutely had to have it. So she gets this vanity and she brings it back home and puts it in her bedroom and is so proud of it. Well, every night she starts sitting at the vanity brushing her hair. One night while she's brushing her hair, she looks into the mirror and she sees this woman staring back at her. She has gray hair, you know, a wrinkled face, and she's just staring straight at her. And this woman then reaches her hand through the mirror and touches her hair. And then like that, she was gone from the mirror. And so Sarah decides not to tell her husband about this. Her husband, however, he started noticing this change in behavior with Sarah. She would be at this vanity and looking in the mirror for hours at a time. You know, one night he was in the kitchen getting something to eat, when all of a sudden he feels like he's being watched, and he looks over and there's Sarah with her head kind of popped out around the corner in the hallway, just staring at him with this grin on her face. And he says, "Hey, what are you doing?" And real fast she pops her head back into the hallway and just takes off running, and she's laughing the whole time. And several places around the house she would just kind of pop her head out and stare at him while he was in the shower, you know, while he would be getting ready for work. And then he started to notice she would talk to this mirror. And she'd wonder, who are you talking to? And Sarah would say, no one, I don't know what you're talking about. And then one night, he's laying in bed with his wife, Sarah, when all of a sudden Sarah jumps on top of her husband and grabs his arms and pins him back and starts shaking him violently, and then starts laughing hysterically. And when he looks at Sarah's face, he realizes that is no longer his wife. It is a woman with gray hair and a wrinkly face. And he manages to get who he thinks is this other woman that's not his wife off of him. And once again, when he looks over, it's Sarah, and she's back to normal. And she doesn't remember any of this, or that any of this even happened. So her husband starts to think, wait a second, all of this started happening when she brought that vanity home. So he gets the vanity and he takes it back to this thrift store. And he tells them, there is something wrong with this vanity. It's affecting my wife. And they say, it's crazy that you say that, because you're the third person that's bought this vanity and brought it back and said something was wrong with it. And as soon as he went back home, his wife was normal again.
Miss, a call from my dad. He's been gone. Like, I just heard his voice one more time.
See, this video right here seems to be really creepy and have a very sad story to it. But if you think about it, there's actually a big plot twist to this. In one of my earlier videos, we reacted to a clip that was from these same people. You may ask, Sean, how do you know that? Because the teddy bear that was gifted to her in that video is the same exact bear that's in this video. And you know, that makes it really weird, because why are there so many weird occurrences going on? And especially, why are they catching them all on camera? So that just makes you question whether these videos are real or not. And I really don't think it is, because I think this is a strange amount of activity going on, especially caught on camera by these people. So, but like, the first video did seem very real. The story kind of matched up with it. This just goes to show that we need to pay attention more and keep more of an open mind as to what could be real and what could be fake.
Bro, the devil lives in the ocean with all of his boys. You remember when Jesus casted out that demon and they asked to go into the swine and then they jumped into the water? The ocean is their realm, right? There's a reason why you can't talk to dolphins. It's illegal. Bro, they want you to snitch on somebody for talking to dolphins. NASA started their exploration in the ocean. And then they decided, oh, we didn't finish exploring 90% of the ocean. And let's just look up instead. NASA is bro, the word NASA means to deceive in Hebrew. And they knew what they were doing. They decided to look up instead of down because they know they have found something down there. Right? Leviathan. Leviathan is a water monster. The three-headed beast of Revelation is going to come out of the water. That Atlantis is down there. NASA found something down there and was like, all right, let's switch gears, because yeah, no one can know this. No one can know what we found down there. That is their home. The Nephilim were breeding humans and fish and birds and all types of stuff, and God saw that was unclean. The world was unclean, and he sent the flood. But the ones that were still able to breathe in water, right? The fallen angels mixing, like, genetically altering humans and fish, and like Nephilim fish thingies, right? Everyone had Nephilim blood within them. Those things are still in the ocean. You send a flood, you're just increasing their natural habitat. There's something in that ocean, and the ocean realm is where Satan and his posse resides. Lucky.
Elon Musk yesterday just announced the first ever human to have a Neuralink implant. You hear about this?
Oh, the chip?
Yeah. There's one successful Neuralink person in the world right now. Happened yesterday. But check this out.
Yeah.
There's a crazy theory happening. They put Neuralink into a calculator, like a numerology calculator, and it comes out with a number with all the different letters.
Word.
Before continuing, I wanted to warn you guys. Their phones were being spied on. Click on this icon, then on more. If you see it, delete it immediately. So this is Elon Musk on Twitter, and he pretty much said, the first ever human got Neuralink, right?
Okay.
Now, put Neuralink, the name, into a gematria calculator. It's like a Greek number calculator.
Yeah.
And guess what the number is?
What, 7?
No, 66.
Hell no.
So people are saying that Neuralink, just like in the Bible, they say people will be implanted with the mark of the beast, which is 666. And
what I will say is that one particular party, lots of big names, there was an artist there who said, hey, Lecrae, around 1 a.m., make sure you're not here. And I was like, what? You just don't want to be here at 1 in the morning. And I was like, now my pride kicked in, like, yo, you don't know me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can handle myself. Like, I'm not some little church boy who ain't never seen nothing. Like, I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what you talking about? Well, it's probably 12:30. I'm downstairs. I go downstairs to the studio. I come up out the studio, and I'm headed back upstairs to like the main area where everyone's kind of congregating and hanging out. And the music changed. It was like really hard and heavy at first, and then, you know, like jam and dancing music. And it was a little softer. You know, it was a little more sensual when I came out the studio and started going upstairs. And on my way upstairs, there's like this couch. I won't say how the couch is designed because then that may give away whose party and whose house this was. There was a couch, and on the couch, I saw a couple of guys really going at it hard and heavy. And man, and I was like, oh, my brain, I'm thinking, well, this celebrity party, people do what they do. As I started moving upstairs, I passed them up and I noticed that it wasn't just those two guys. It was more and more people just going at it. Shout out to my guy, Brandon T. Jackson, man. Brandon T. Jackson, at this particular party, Brandon T. came up to me and he said, yo, man, like Satan will steal your soul in this industry, bro.
And if you see the devil, tell him I'm looking for him.
Whatever I want, I get. Whatever I want, I fucking get.
What if when they're older, in their 20s, they bring home a 50-year-old man? What would you say to that?
I really would just go on who really would love my daughters. I really wouldn't go on an age thing, you know what I'm saying? If I didn't want to move on, I don't go out without a fight. I'm like crazy boyfriend.
But even after they married and got kids and everything else, you stir up a lot of shit like that, did he?
If they married and got kids, no, I mean, that's when you got to move on. That's the only reason why I moved on. I've never been a good boyfriend. But when I get on you, though, for real, I'm trying to bite your face off. I don't be doing the same fighting. I'm more of a savage type of fighter. I'm in a relationship with you, like 25% of your time, you're going to just, feel like, oh, man, I hate being here. Oh, man, I hate this guy. I'm a Scorpio. The things that, But I'm saying... The cold words I have for making love should not be on the Ellen Show. Special guest in the building.
That's right, hip-hop's favorite terrorist, Rock Hussein.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Sean Diddy Combs being escorted from a police car in handcuffs. The 45-year-old music mogul was charged with assault with a deadly weapon after allegedly swinging a kettlebell like this at UCLA's assistant football coach's head.
Once again, y'all, Lady Gaga is showing us just how demonic she is. In her latest music video, filming a video in a graveyard is one thing, but an island full of cursed dolls, that's straight up demonic. Why would anybody choose to go to this island that's in Mexico, full of all these cursed dolls, to record a music video? Only people I can think of that would do something like this is people that's demonic. Take a look at Lady Gaga video, a short little clip. Look at this shit, y'all. Y'all let me know how weird and demonic this shit look. Look at the fucking doll. The joint decapitated. Would you record a video here? Look at her, y'all. Look at this shit. She tweaking out. What the fuck? It's them cursed dolls, I'm telling you. So in this place right here, a man claimed that a little girl drowned here and that her spirit was stuck. And on nights, she will be crying and shit. The legend has it that these dolls be whispering at night and shit. So the same man who reported on a girl drowning there, that hung up all these dolls, end up passing away too, y'all. And he didn't just pass away regular. He passed away the same way he described the little girl, how she passed away, which was drowning. So once again, I ask you, why would you go and do a music video here? What person in their right mind would go do a music video here? I'll wait. Let me know in the comments.
A lot of people thinking that Hollywood just got demonic, but Hollywood been demonic. Hollywood been mocking Jesus Christ. I'm just gonna show you a few, and it's way more than this, but I'm gonna show you a few celebrities that have mocked Jesus Christ. P. Diddy. Nas. A lot of people are like, oh man, Nas is cool, Nas is cool. Mock Jesus Christ. Madonna. You got the baby. Lil Nas X. Kendrick Lamar. Kevin Gates constantly blaspheming Jesus Christ. You got NLE Chopper blaspheming Jesus Christ. And it's way more than that. Kathy Griffin on live television blasphemed Jesus Christ. Those are just some of the people who blasphemed Jesus Christ and mocked him openly. But you also have a lot of people that didn't necessarily mock Jesus Christ, but they are openly serving the devil. They are openly giving glory and praise to the devil. But that's another conversation for another video. Hey, if this video opened your eyes to something that you didn't know, like, comment, subscribe. Just know Jesus Christ is Lord. Continue to pray, stay prayed up, because, hey, it's an evil world that we live in.
I mean, it's understandable that there's going to be people on this earth that don't believe in certain things and, you know, they don't really care about it. As much as you yourself may know what's going on, there's always going to be people out there that doubt and just don't really care about stuff like that. But, like, to mock something like this is kind of crazy because it's not just, like, something small that you could really play with. Like, even if you don't believe in it, you don't care about it, you know, you may as well still respect it because, you know, it's kind of one of the most important things. It just seems like a very bad agenda is being pushed. Y'all just stay blessed and, you know, keep believing in what you believe in and don't let nobody tell you otherwise. So, because, you know, there's a lot of evil out there. There's a lot of stuff that tries to drift you away and push you away from things that you believe in and things you care about.
Eminem sold his soul and he has a demon living in him. Alright, this is my 4th time making this video. TikTok kept removing the sound because I was using the song in this video. So I'm just going to have to read off the lyrics to you. But I'm going to play a small clip of the song because you need to hear he literally has the demon in his song, like the demonic voice. But we'll get to that. Alright, we're going to start here. And the dark shall emerge from the fiery depths of hell, then swallow the shell of the hollow who dwell in the shadows of all who are willing to sell their souls for this rap game. And it goes. Now, if you don't know by now, you have to sell your soul in this rap game if you want to make it big. If you want to be anybody of importance, anybody with high status, anybody with a hit song, you have to sell your soul. That's just how the game works. That's just how the music industry is going down these days. Which it's always been going down, but we just didn't know back then. But it has definitely gotten worse. So the beginning of the song wasn't bad. It literally takes a drastic turn out of nowhere. And it goes, so at night before I sleep, I look in the mirror grows lips and it whispers, come near. My darling, I don't ever want to leave you, my darling. You and me were meant to be together, my darling. And if I cannot have you, no one can. You're my darling, because I possess your soul, your mind, your heart, and your body. So this song really exposes how Eminem got to the status that he is in, how he got his fame, how he got his record deal, and how he blew up. And this is when the demon starts to speak. He says, Shady, I know you're in there somewhere. Come here. Talk to me. Sit here. Pull up a chair. Why don't you cut your hair? Ha ha ha. Dye it back. Come on, try it. So he's letting us know that dyeing his hair was the demon's idea. Like, this was all a part of the demon's plan and to give him his image and to make Slim shady. Eminem responds with saying, no, I told you, leave me the F alone, will you? And they're going back and forth. But I'm here to rebuild you, but I already killed you. But Shady, we were meant for each other. Think about your mother. Yeah, so whatever. You think about what she did to you and your little brother. All them foster homes. F you, MFer. Eminem says, I had you beat. And the demon says, no, I was playing possum. Remember, I let you watch your little girls blossom. So in 2004, Eminem had released his album Encore. Everybody thought this was going to be his last album because he had taken a hiatus for 5 years before he released his album in 2009. With this song that is currently on it. Now, in the previous verse, Eminem thought he got rid of this demon. He thought that he was done and over with him. Like, he had gotten his success, he got his fame, he got his money. The demon said, no, I was just resting, I was taking a break. They must have made a deal for him to allow his little girls to grow up, to watch them grow up, and to see them blossom, and to spend time with them during this period. After Eminem got those 5 years, the demon came back and was like, all right, we need to run this back. We're not done yet. You made a deal with me. You have to fulfill this contract that we made together. The demon continues by saying, I gave you enough time. Your soul's mine. I'm taking it back. And Eminem says, you effing B, why? He says, because I love you. Look a little closer. Isn't that us on that poster? Ha ha ha. So this demon is looking at posters, looking at these accolades that Eminem has, and it's like, look at what we built. This is you and me. You know, we look at it and people think, oh, like, yeah, Eminem did that, and that's Eminem. Like, no, this demon is looking at it like, that's me. That's what I built. That's what I helped you accomplish. You gave me your body. You gave me your soul. I gave you success, fame. We're using your image, but this was all done by me. He goes back to the chorus. My darling, I don't ever want to leave you, my darling. You and me were meant to be together, my darling. And if I cannot have you, no one can. You're my darling, because I possess your soul, your mind, your heart, and your body. He's letting Eminem know, like, you cannot leave. Like, I possess your soul, your mind, everything. Like, we are as one now because of your deal that you've made with me. Eminem at this point does not want to continue working with the demon. He no longer wants to do this, but the demon is making him because, like I said, they made a deal. Eminem wants to get out of this deal. He wants to be done making music. He wants to be done with the industry, but the demon is like, no. So this next verse, he starts bringing up his old accolades, and he starts enticing him with the past. He says, Shady, listen, and he has the crowd screaming, Shady, Shady. You hear that? They're screaming for you. I can bring your career back. And Eminem's like, I don't want it back. And he says, yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. You're going to regret it later. No, I won't. And the demon's like, I'm going to get Dre on the phone. I'll just call the doctor. Mind you, Dr. Dre is also in on this. He knows, just like all these other celebrities, about these demons. He has probably also sold his soul. He's probably also the demon himself. Eminem's like, go ahead, I already talked to Dre yesterday. Well, I got him on the phone right now. You're lying. Yo, Slim, how? Why now? Now you hear Dr. Dre get on the track. He's like, check this out, Slim. I gotta talk to you. I don't know if it just seems like ever since you got off your drugs, you become a lot softer. Eminem's like, but Dre, all Shady is a bottle of hair bleach and vodka. And he says, well, just think about it, Slim. I don't care. Just hit me back and let me know what's up. Dre's trying to get him back in the game. Because like I said, they're all working together. All these demons are all working together, controlling these humans who have unknowingly given their lives, given their souls, given their bodies over to them. And I know you're going to say, oh, you can't sell your soul, like only God can have souls. But you can bargain against your soul and give them access. Remember in the beginning of the song, Eminem is looking in the mirror when he's talking to the demon. He's looking at himself. He's looking at this demon looking back at him. So Eminem's like, F this mirror. And the demon is like, I'm not in the mirror. I'm inside you. Let me guide you. Eminem is like, F you, die you son of a bee. Put the gun down. Bye-bye. Gunshot. So the demon said, put the gun down. Eminem is holding up a gun. He's trying to kill the demon. He's trying to kill the demon out of him. He's trying to kill himself. He shoots himself. Eminem's like, okay, I'm still alive. The demon says, so am I too. You can't kill a spirit even if you try to. All right, now this is where I'm going to play the part for you to hear the voice because it is freaking scary. The demon is telling you he sold his soul. Eminem is letting you know that he literally sold his soul to this demon to get to where he is. Here he's about to explain what happened and why he sold his soul. He said, you remember that night you prayed to God. You'd give anything to get a record deal when Dre signed you. This is what you wanted your whole life, Marshall, right through? Look at this house. Look at these cars. They're so nice. Woo. Oh, but you don't know fame has a price too. That you're just now seeing that downside too. Eminem was praying to God, praying for his dreams, pleading that God would answer his prayers. I've heard this a few times now where people have prayed to God and the devil showed up, a demon showed up and said, I will give you everything and anything you want if you just sign this contract. They signed the contract unknowingly, sometimes knowingly, knowing what they're doing, giving their soul over, giving demons and the devil access to their body, their minds, and their souls for them to possess, for them to give them this success, which really isn't success. It's just momentary gain. And then it goes and he says, lose your best friend from high school, your wife too, ain't even sure if your kids like you, come off tour, can't even sleep at night without NyQuil, become a Valium addict, start a rehab cycle, but together we can break this cycle, Marshall. And Marshall says, what? No one's gonna love you like I do. The demon is once again enticing him with worldly riches and worldly gain, trying to get him to turn back to the life that he used to have and trying to get him and keep him held bound and held captive to them being one, because the demon has no vessel without Slim Shady. That's the end of the song. It goes on to repeat the chorus, and yeah, Eminem sold his soul to get to where he is, to get everything that he has. He admitted it, just like every other celebrity. They have to tell you. Demons have to tell you their plans. They have to tell you what is going on. Many of you miss it because it goes over your heads. They know that many of you will not believe it. You'll think that it's just art, or it's just rhetorical, or it's just symbolic and it's not real. They didn't actually sell their soul, and there is no demons, and there's no this, and blah blah blah. No, demons are real. These celebrities, these influencers, these actors, actresses, singers, whatever you want to call them, all these people, they all know. They're all in cahoots with each other. They all know about these things. They all know what these celebrities have done to get to where they are. And so, as I always say, just stay diligent, stay aware. Like, stop supporting these artists, stop supporting these demons, because you're not supporting these artists, you're supporting these demons. And I also wanted to mention, if you've noticed in Eminem's songs, he has different voices and dialects in his songs, and he sings and raps in these different voices. And now I always wonder, is it the demon? Because I'm like, how did you come up with that? Like, how did you come up with these different voices that you're singing in, and all these rapping and all this stuff. But it's these demons. These demons are talented. Like, they have been here for centuries, and they know things. So just stay diligent, stay aware, and keep your eyes peeled, and start listening to true Christian worship music, y'all. Get away from the secular stuff. Be safe.
Let's talk about Jenna Ortega. There are an extreme amount of examples of her doing the one-eye symbolism online. Here we have it. Here we have it before her dramatic transformation. Here we have it ironically as part of the show Wednesday. Here we have it for SNL. Here we have more one-eye symbolism, which looks like some type of Halloween costume. But the transformation of Jenna Ortega has left many people with many questions. It seems to be a popular thing in Hollywood to go from this to looking like this. I mean, if you genuinely told me this was not the same person, I would probably believe you. Ironically enough, I found some pictures of Jenna Ortega and none other than Lady Gaga. Here we see them in a coffin type setting. And here we have them at the Wednesday Addams premiere where Jenna Ortega looks completely out of it. Ironically enough, Lady Gaga is producing some type of song for Wednesday, and that's why she was there. But if you know anything about Lady Gaga and the transformation of Jenna Ortega, it's eerie. Not to mention that Jenna Ortega literally follows the weirdest page I've ever seen on Instagram. Here we see some nuns with one-eye symbolism as well as upside-down crosses. Here we see whatever you would call this image, and it says, "Try it, it's delicious." Lastly, we have this disturbing picture which states it's all a part of family bonding. There is some weird stuff going on in Hollywood, guys, and open your eyes because hypothetically, allegedly, Jenna Ortega is a prime example of this. Wake up.
It's crazy because you see certain people get pushed into the spotlight and you see them get opportunity after opportunity depending on how the audience reacts to them. And once you see these certain celebrities come into the picture, it feels like they've been planning for these people to blow up, and it's not just kind of the person putting in the work. Like, yes, they do put in the work, but it feels like there's something controlled behind them because, you know, obviously they're going to cooperate because they're giving them the opportunities and the money. So it's just like really scary because, you know, once you see someone more frequently, you kind of know that they're either connected with something not good or, you know, something not good is pushing them. And, you know, there's always a hidden agenda behind everything. You know, nothing just happens for no reason.
The babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars we fight. But what I realized is we are the first species on the face of this earth to be aware of evolution, to be aware that we are affecting our own evolution by everything that we do. The babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars we fight. We are the first species to begin to understand not only are we aware of evolution, but we are evolution.
Barbara Marx Hubbard, daughter of Louis Marx, a toy maker. Strange they talk about eating babies when she grew up with her father that was a toy maker. Super strange. She is known as the mother of the conscious movement, which is basically the New Age movement, which blows my mind, absolutely blows my mind. She and her father were such large elites that they were actually friends with the president. This is huge. They were connected. Now, if you want to see more about this and why she would ever even slip up and say that, you have to watch the documentary Just the Tip. Go to watchjtt.com. Do it now. I've followed the White Rabbit. Have you?
This video is a warning. There is this blue bottle drink that is being sold in gas stations. The drink is called Feel Free. This is how the drink looks, right? Do not try it. Absolutely stay away from it. It's sold next to energy drinks in gas stations. So sad what it's doing to people. People are literally going into rehab because of this stuff. It targets the same things in your brain that a certain substance that starts with the letter H does. Yes, you heard that right. By taking that drink, you're literally developing an addiction that's similar to if you had taken a substance that starts with the letter H. If you know, you know. But it's disguised as an energy drink. Kids are taking this stuff. Literal kids. Somehow it's completely legal. People are taking it. Kids are taking it. Teenagers are taking it. They're not even checking people's IDs to buy one of these things. Actually, no joke. I've heard cashiers saying that customers will go in being aggressive, violent, literally acting like crackheads. There's people going through 5, 6, 7, 8 bottles of these in a day. Shaking, trembling, anxiety, throwing up. There's a video on here about some guy saying that a teenager literally tried to rob him to get some of that stuff. It's not even FDA approved. They're literally going through a lawsuit right now. If anyone asks for you to buy them one of that stuff, say no. Walk away, because they're likely addicted and it's only going to get worse from there. I'm really hoping that this doesn't become some new type of trend that teenagers and people are partaking in. Please spread this message to as many people as you can. It's actually so dangerous.
Who or what walked behind the car?
I feel like we should go inside.
Okay. No, yeah, we're actually gonna leave.
Yeah. I think we should go.
No, yeah. That's okay.
Update, we're
I got too scared.
yeah,
so
we're actually going home. So we're just gonna drive home tonight because
I can't sleep here.
It started with a scream, raw, guttural, and far too human. The kind of sound that tears through the night and grabs something ancient inside you. Most brushed it off as a bobcat or a fox. But then, things got worse. Viewers were quick to notice something the couple didn't. A shadow figure silently crossing behind their car window. It moved smoothly, unnaturally fast. Just as the driver said they were going to drive home, it appeared, as if something didn't want them to leave. This wasn't an isolated moment. The scream, the eerie stillness, and that final movement all pointed to something more sinister. In places like Skinwalker Ranch and deep Appalachia, people speak in hushed tones about creatures that mimic voices and prey on fear. The question isn't whether they saw it, it's whether it saw them first. Skeptics rush to explain it away. It's a horror-themed Airbnb. They use speakers in the woods. Probably just a fox. But the internet noticed something strange. Too many commenters saw the exact same thing. A shadow, tall and thin, gliding past the rear of the car just after the screaming stopped. Some say it looked human, others swear it wasn't walking. It floated. In native folklore, this is how skinwalkers move. Fast, low to the ground, and silent. And when you're being watched by one, they say your mind starts to rationalize the danger. You want it to be a fox. You hope it's a speaker. But deep down, your body knows better. The couple hasn't posted since. Some viewers are convinced they made it out. Others aren't so sure. All that's left is a scream, a shadow, and a video that feels more like a warning than entertainment.
I mean, like, this is such a controversial place because, you know, I've made a video about this before and a lot of you guys were saying they're just mountain lions and, you know, it's nothing to worry about, but it's such a speculative thing. There's so much deep history that goes into this place and everybody's going to always have their opinions. You know, I feel like it is possible that there is something out there. I'm not too sure what it is or, you know, because everybody can come up with their own stories, but, you know, you never know what's out there. You just honestly got to be careful. Like, obviously, this is a very nice place to visit, but even if there is just mountain lions, like, those are still scary and dangerous. So yeah, maybe one day we'll figure out more about this place.
There's a spell that I was hired to do on multiple females. It gives them a voice of a lot higher range than what they naturally have. And that spell involves me going into the studio when they're singing, pulling down the back of their pants, and inserting my finger in their rectum. And I do a magic spell to go with it. It's not just a finger in the rectum. We found that spell in I think it was a druid spell book for improving somebody's singing voice. So they may have a range of 2 octaves that they can go up. I do this spell. This will give them 6 octaves.
Being a literal witch. Literal witch. I'm not kidding.
You are a witch?
I am indeed. The witchiest witch.
Oh, that is the craziest thing I have ever seen. What's creepier than the TikToks we're about to watch today is the fact that 90% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, so make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe for more creepy videos. Thank you.
Before I performed, I raised my hands up, and it was kind of the first time I felt something else come into me, and I knew that was going to be my coming out night.
She telling y'all out her own mouth that she is possessed, that it ain't her, that something is entering inside of her body and taking over. That sound like possession. That sound like a demon. It's demonic. And y'all say that y'all believe in God and y'all serve God and y'all love God, but y'all continue to follow her and go to her concerts and sing her songs and worship her and praise her. That's why God say that the people worship the creations and the creatures more than the creator. When y'all gonna wake up and quit playing, bro? You can only serve one God. You can only serve one master. You can't serve 2 masters. You can't drink from the cup of the Lord and drink from the cup of devils. You gotta pick whom you gonna serve. You either a child of God or you not. You either following God or you not. You either all in for God or you all out. Which one is it gonna be? Y'all keep continuing to take up for her and make excuses for her and disregard her, letting you know who she serve and that she don't serve the God that you serve and that she is worshiping something else, that she is filled with demonic spirits and evil spirits and demons. And y'all just like, oh, I don't care, it's Beyonce though. That say a lot about y'all. Y'all better wake up, repent.
Being a literal witch. Literal witch. I'm not kidding.
You are a witch?
I am indeed. The witchiest witch.
Ariana Grande openly came out and said that she was a witch. If you look at how Ariana Grande used to look compared to how she look now, it's a major difference. Ariana Grande looks sick. When you are playing with the enemy, dibbling and dabbling in witchcraft and voodoo and sorcery and dark magic and tarot cards and all of these things, aligning yourself with demons, you got to understand, when demons use you, when somebody is possessed by demons and being used by demons, these demons drain the life out of them. And if you look at Ariana Grande, it looks like the demons are draining her. She was bragging about being a witch and witchcraft and all these things. She did a movie called Wicked. And she said herself, on the set of this movie, she caught pneumonia. Not only did she caught pneumonia, she caught COVID during the making of that movie. Hey, you gotta understand, bro, when you are dibbling and dabbling in darkness, it come with a price. People calling themselves demons and all this, they think that, oh, it's cool to be a demon. Once you are used by demons, them demons are gonna drain you until you have nothing left. Look at what Ariana Grande, she went from this to how she looks now. Like this. Hey, y'all better wake up. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Let go of the witchcraft, let go of the sorcery, let go of the tarot cards, let go of the astrology, let go of the zodiac signs, let go of all of that. All you need is Jesus Christ. All you need is God. That's it. Hey, people better wake up. Demons then used her up, drained her. After you come out and say you a witch, after you do a movie called Wicked, starring witches and things like this, now look at it. God is not to be played with.
She heard that something strange was hovering in the sky when she sees this. A woman captured a shocking video from one of her outdoor surveillance cameras. After hearing the rumors that a strange object was spotted near Fort Myers Beach in Florida, she angled her camera towards the sky when she captures this.
Guys, here it is again, the Fort Myers Beach UFO over the beach appearing on the webcam. Wasn't there, and then now it is there right after a big lightning strike situation. You can see a little dot pattern that looks like some kind of structure on the object. So that kind of struck me as really interesting when I noticed it, because it kind of starts to confirm that it's some kind of, you know, intelligently made object rather than just some anomaly.
As soon as lightning strikes from above the clouds, what looks like this strange floating object can be seen with multiple lights simply hovering there. The object then suddenly disappears, only to reappear again after the heavy thunderstorm, as if whatever this is being intercepted by the lightning and revealing it. Other people from the area also spotted this same strange object in the sky during that thunderstorm in Fort Myers. What exactly is going on in Florida that these things are monitoring them?
The following video is from a woman who was out doing her normal exercise routine and recording herself. It wasn't until afterwards that she started reviewing her footage that she realized something completely horrifying. Something was behind her, watching her. Watch the woods behind her as she's exercising and you'll see it. But the question remains is, what was it? Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
Okay, this video just like has so many questions. One, why are you doing yoga in the dark in the woods? Like, you know, there's plenty of other places to do yoga. You know what I'm saying? There's, you know, you can go to the beach, you could go to, I don't know, a gym, you can go to a yoga place, but you want to do it in front of the woods. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own interests. And what is going on in the woods? Like, what is that? It's kind of hard because we don't really get a full visual of it because, you know, these videos are never fully clear because it's probably recorded from the back camera anyway. So, you know, you just need to be careful in a situation like this, like, especially if you know you're going to a place that could hold animals, people, you know, anything that's not looking out for your safety. You know, you just got to really be cautious, especially if you're going to be turning your back to it.
That is like something right out of a horror movie. Now, Rianne works as a psychic medium, so she is no stranger to the paranormal or the supernatural. But one day, while her family is relaxing at home and watching TV, something happens that even freaks her out. Rianne says that her two youngest daughters have taken an interest in hairstyling, so they will often have their styling mannequins downstairs. And this is when things take a terrifying turn.
Yeah. Everything makes sense. And you're filling up what they call the bridge. You're doing this out, and this is good. And you're like, well, for some players, what makes sense to you? So, the bridge, it's a metaphor. Your spirituality, your relationship to others, personal.
No one in the room even notices as the creepy head of the styling mannequin seems to just slowly turn to look at the family. But it doesn't stop there. The head not only turns, but seems to slowly glance back and forth to take a good look around. Finally, the mannequin head makes such a rapid movement that even the entire family notices. And understandably, they just kind of freak right out.
Here's clip 2. My little girl jumped off the couch, ran over to me. I'm frantically telling my husband, oh my God, she just looked at me. My daughter's covering her mouth. I'm like, oh my God. He's looking behind. There's nothing there. I'm covering my face like, oh my God, I cannot believe this happened. And now I'm gesturing at the living room camera saying, get your phone. You've got to look at this. You've got to look at that footage.
Rhea tells me that they checked behind the couch and the counter, but they found nothing to explain the strange movements of the mannequin head. So just what is happening here?
See, like, this one is really questionable because obviously if it was just like a little bit of movement, you would be like, okay, how did that even happen, or like what caused that? But it seems like the head of this mannequin was kind of watching them in a sense. But if you look close to the back of the mannequin where the hair is, it looks like someone's pulling it. I mean, I don't really know how you would accurately pull it like that, especially like if you can't see, there's no one there. But obviously if they're faking a video, they're not going to say, oh look, there's someone behind here messing with the mannequin. You know, that's going to ruin the whole point of the video, you know. But this is still a creepy clip, and it does seem to be some paranormal activity if it is real, because this mannequin was not just moving, it was watching them, like kind of moving towards them. You can tell he got some sort of feeling from when it moved that there was something there. So, you know, that's also creepy and something to look at. But, you know, there's a lot of questions in this. Y'all let me know your thoughts and opinions.
This is probably the scariest case to come out of the Appalachian Mountains. Now, this one is personal to me because I actually worked on this case. Now, I had a friend who lived in North Carolina, and he was a paranormal investigator. He reaches out to me one day and is like, hey, so I got this weird case, and you know, I'm kind of stumped, like, could you help me with it? Apparently, there was this Native American family who lived on the reservation, and they had a daughter who was like 16 or 17, and at the time, she was getting dropped off from a friend's house one night at her parents' home. Well, her friend drops her off, and she said when she got out of the car, she had to walk down this, like, bumpy, gravelly, muddy road. And she said as she's walking down this gravel road, and right next to her, you know, is the woods, she sees this man standing on the side of the road. And she said he had this black hat on, a black cloak, and she said she couldn't really see his face at the time because it was turned. And she said as she walked a little closer to him, he turned his face, and she said he had no mouth, no nose, but these solid red eyes, and he was just staring at her. Well, she said, she walked as fast as she could to the house, and this man began like following her. So she runs inside her house, and she's like screaming, crying at this time. Her dad's like, what's going on? Like, why are you crying? And she said, there's this man out there in a hat, and like he was following me. So her dad runs out of the house and just starts looking for this guy. He doesn't find anyone. He doesn't see anything. And he's like, you sure there was a guy out there? And she's like, yeah, I seen him. Like, he was on the road, and he was like, followed me to the house. So a couple weeks pass, and they start noticing that their daughter is waking up at night from having these terrible dreams, that she is seeing this man in her room. And not only that, she is waking up with these scratches all over her body. In the next coming months, right, there was something banging on the windows, banging on the doors, right? They could hear scratching sounds coming from the roof all night long, except when the father would go and investigate and try to figure out what was going on, like he couldn't find anything. And then one night, the daughter is having like this terrible nightmare, and the mother in the other room, she could hear this going on. So she walks over to her bedroom, which the door is halfway open. She looks in, and she said she could see a man standing next to her bed with this hat and this cloak on. She goes in her room, she flips on the lights, and she said it was gone. And not only this thing was, attacking, this girl was attacking their home. It had left scratch marks on the truck, on the home. There were claw mark footprints all around the home. These are real pictures from some of the damage that it was causing and the scratch marks that it left on this girl. Now, I started looking into this case, and I started researching what we come to know today as the Hatman. And as I got deeper into this case, I started to notice weird things were happening to me. Like, I lived up in Chicago at the time, and one night I'm asleep, and I just remember it was 3 a.m. I wake up to the sound of a scream, and I'd never heard anything like that before. So I immediately jump up. I think someone's in the house. Like, what is going on? I searched my entire home. There was no one there. The doors were locked. The windows were closed. So as I'm getting ready to go back to bed, I walk past the living room. And as I turn, sitting in a lazy boy recliner is what looks like a man in a cloak and a hat, just rocking. And I look again, he's gone. But I could see movement of the chair, and that's someone obviously had bumped it or had been sitting in it. And that like sent chills down my back. And I immediately like went into the bedroom, closed the door. And mysteriously, as all of this started, it just one day stopped. And to me, what I thought personally was this was a case of the Hatman.
Rapper Lil Flip says that he knows actual rappers who sold their soul to the devil for music.
So rappers is really out here selling their soul for success. That's a real thing.
For sure. Yeah. Behind the scenes selling their soul or snaking somebody who deserves opportunity. You know?
Have you ever been approached to do anything out of pocket?
I've been approached to have somebody come to my house and pray. And yeah, like, hey man, this guy, yeah, he's like he gets spirits out, and you know, he wants to come and pray. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I want to continue to pray the way I've been praying. I don't know who he believe in and what he believe in, but he can't come in my house. So peace. I kept God in what I got going on. I kept God. I keep God in what I got going on. I don't love money. I talk for myself. I come from a family that programmed me and trained me to be out in this world and out in the streets and knowing how to maneuver.
It says in the word of God, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Many different people are chasing fame, they're chasing money, and they're losing their soul in the process, coming into agreement with so much darkness to get there. And many people actually think that they can actually sell their soul, signing contracts, putting them into bondage from a lie. And only can Christ come, which is the key to rescue them from the jail cell they put themselves into. Guys, let me tell you something real quick. God does not send anyone to hell. Hell is full of people who rejected God.
The scariest thing lurking in the woods is other humans. Grizzly Gaz is an experienced camper who is camping in a forest one night cooking dinner when suddenly someone creeps up on him unnoticed.
And I've got a visitor. Creeped up behind me asking me if I had a light. I shit me pants. This is Martin anyway. I don't know him, but he's stopping for a steak, so...
Just some random creep. The stranger seemed friendly, but the camper quickly felt a strong feeling to get out of there.
The more I think about it, the stranger it gets. Fed that lad, talking about life and how he got to where he is and drugs and whatnot. And then turned round to cut some firewood up. And when I turned back round, he'd gone, scanned about, and he was just walking off into darkness. So I said, see you later, pal. He went, yeah, see ya. And just left. The fact that he just left without saying no has put the EBGBs up me, because I'm going to tell his mates there's a guy camping out with a load of filming equipment. I don't want to be having to fight off a load of smackheads at 3 o'clock in the morning.
From a young man who captured something strange during the last few hours of his grandfather's life. Something that left the whole family shocked. While his grandfather was asleep, his home security camera captures this.
Pero ¿qué le da a la ventana que le alumbra así? No, y no me hace hecho caso cuando te digo que se ve lo doble que eso. Y este pato se va hacia él. ¿Lo viste? ¿Qué puede hacer? Y no se ha visto fuerte como era, mira.
A strange white light can be seen manifesting out of nowhere and almost reaching out to the grandfather. We can also see that he wakes up and tries to reach towards the light. Now here is where things become more strange. Only 3 hours after this recording, his grandfather in the footage passed away, and his grandfather's wife also passed away just 4 weeks prior. But before her death, she promised her husband she'll come pick him up when it's his time. The young man believes this light is his grandmother keeping her promise and picking up her husband as he passes on and joins her in the afterlife.
I don't see why this video would be fake, because if it is fake, that's really just kind of messed up, because, you know, I don't see why you'd be joking about someone that passed away. I'm just going to take this as this video is real, because this really isn't something to joke about. I understand trying to make things creepy and give things a story, but like I feel like that's a little too far if it is. But if this is real, this raises a lot of curiosity, because as you can see, there is a light that's reaching out towards him, and if this story does align with the video, that's really sad, because she said that she's gonna come back for him when she passes away, and there is a light that he did wake up and reach for, and hours later he did pass away. So, you know, this is not only creepy, this is a very sad story, because obviously there was lives lost. It kind of just makes you curious as to what happens after we pass away, and, you know, see, we're all gonna find out one day, you know, that's just life. But, you know, there's not much we'll know until that time comes. You know, obviously, hopefully it doesn't come soon, because we all got a lot left to go.
More weird stuff about the Kardashians, part 2. Since 2013, when these two met, Kim Kardashian and Michelle Lamy have been extremely close, done interviews, photo shoots, etc. together. They also did a really eerie photo shoot in this magazine I'll show you here. Plenty of creepy shots, but also they're wearing each other's clothes, therefore channeling each other. Do the math. The weirdest thing by far I found about Kim on the entire internet is the Santa baby video. For those who don't remember, this came out a few years ago. It's extremely eerie and disturbing. Roll the clip. Here's one more eerie clip from that video, and then we'll talk details. A lot of weird things in that video to unpack, but you have Jesus looting a fridge, Mary next to a donkey, and a nun muttering on the floor saying he is not a man of God. Obviously, something has been done to her theoretically in the video to make her say that. The entire vibe of the video feels like it should be on the dark web or something. It feels like a prelude to something awful. To me, though, the weirdest part of the video is the end where Kim crawls up to Santa with the one-eye symbolism, and then lo and behold, Santa is none other than Macaulay Culkin, who we also know is a product of Hollywood, and also you see him here doing the one-eye symbolism. It's no accident. Here's a picture of Kim with that other weird lady from Hollywood as well. And that's not really even going into the relationship between these two families, which I could deep dive on another time. Something's off about this family.
RP Kobe, they literally cursed him, fam. You know, in his last game, what toys they gave away in the front row?
What?
A Kobe toy that turns into a helicopter.
No
Did
way.
you know this?
No, they didn't. Bro. They actually sell that?
Bro, look.
What the
Kobe Bryant collectibles on his last game. The action figure that turns him into a helicopter.
What the fuck? That's a thing?
Yeah, and you know the Kanye West ad with Kobe?
Yeah.
Yeah, the predictive foreshadowing. The one when he's on top of the roof and he's like dribbling.
Yeah.
The guy at the end is literally like, oh yeah, Kobe, greats come and go. And then Kobe, the last words was, yeah, but legends live forever.
Heroes come and go, but legends are forever.
A few years go by, a cartoon makes a meme about Kobe of him dying in a helicopter,
and he's holding
He's like,
yeah.
Kobe, can you pass me the trophies? And he's like, no, I don't pass.
And then the helicopter explodes.
Oh shit! It's Kobe Bryant! Help me! Just pass me the trophies and we'll pull you out!
Pass?
Grandson is helping his grandma decorate for a party when this was captured.
You don't really see anything. What the hell was that? Someone just moved it. Just did a bang. Jesus Christ. Look, you can see this is like... You can see there's nothing on it. God, it must have been heavy to be able to move that. What the hell?
What's that?
Santa fell.
What did that fall on?
It fell from there.
What did it break?
Nothing's broken, it just fell from there. It was literally there. I don't want to put it back in case it drops again. It was just up there and it literally fell.
Shut up, stupid.
See, she don't believe me.
You are.
Yeah, weird. Man, did you just see that?
What?
The card just fell.
What card?
That one there.
No, I didn't see it fall.
Yeah, because you haven't been watching. So she just ignores it. She thinks there's nothing going on.
There's no time to play about them, ladies, and this is supposed to be the party tonight.
Oh, I don't remember that moving.
Oh, I don't remember that moving. Who's that? Oh, flipping it.
Did you see that?
No. Should be doing those stupid games.
What stupid games?
Stupid. Stop it, Nathan. Stop.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing anything. I told you I'm not doing anything.
You're not funny.
No, I'm not funny.
Funny at all. Well, my cards got put up.
I don't know why she was being so rude about the whole situation and trying to blame stuff on him, especially when she's not even looking or like trying to see what's going on. I don't see how this video really could be faked, and especially faking a ghost in the house with your grandma, that's kind of messed up. I can see her perspective. She probably thinks that he's messing around and trying to scare her and this and that, but like, you know, there's real stuff going on around them, and you know, she's not really paying attention. She's kind of blaming him. You know, like obviously there's a lot of speculation this video could be fake, but you know, it's so hard to tell because there's no real way he could have. It was just them two in there, and you know, random things were falling in ways that they shouldn't be falling, and it just makes you wonder why this is going on, or like what could have led to this, what's in their house. You know, maybe they have something in their house that's causing this to happen, but it just seems like there was a lot going on at such a sudden time. That kind of makes the credibility of this video questionable, but you guys let me know what you think.
This is the true story behind Teletubbies, and it's disturbing. In 1953, the US government ran a top-secret experiment in the hills of Washington state. They built a massive isolated testing ground, 4 artificial hills with antennas planted in each one. Locals called it the Baby Tower Project. Its goal? To test how infants respond to continuous exposure to visual signals without human contact. 4 babies, each placed in a separate dome, surrounded by screens, cameras, and one machine that fed them pre-recorded images 24 hours a day, colors, shapes, faces, over and over and over again. By age 2, they had never heard a human voice, never touched a real person. They only mimicked what they saw. Surveillance logs describe strange behavior, giggling at static, dancing in sync, speaking in nonsense code. One entry read, "Subject 3 stared at the camera for 6 hours straight. Did not blink. Smiled the entire time." Eventually, the program was shut down. No explanation. All files erased. But here's where it gets creepy. In 1997, a British producer pitched a kids' show about 4 beings living in hills, with TVs in their stomachs, speaking gibberish and laughing at random sounds. He said the idea came to him in a dream, but internet sleuths found that his grandfather had worked on the Baby Tower Project. So now the question is, were the Teletubbies just characters, or were they real?
A good reason why people close their curtains at night in the Appalachian Mountains. There are things in those woods that are terrifying. And one of those things happened to be the Appalachian Wendigo. Now, there was this man named Jim. Jim decided one day that he was going to sell everything he had and buy some acreage of land in the Appalachian Mountains and start this homestead. So Jim finds this good piece of land and he moves there, builds a cabin and several structures. And for a year, his life was amazing. He said one day, though, he gets a knock on his cabin door. And he said he opens the door. On the other side of the door was this older gentleman. And he said the gentleman started speaking. He said, "Hey, my name is Fox. I live not too far from here. And I wanted to check on you because I know you're all alone out here. And things can happen to people who are alone in the woods." And Jim was kind of like, why is this guy saying all this and stuff? So he said the guy continued to talk to him, but all he could think about was the fact that this guy, Fox, looked exactly like his father, who had passed away when he was a young boy. And he said it was just very, very eerie. It was like talking to his father. So he said, finally, the guy said, "You be safe out here. I'll see you later." And he said the way he said it was kind of creepy. So he said this guy, Fox, he just walked away and took off into the woods, and he never seen him again. A couple months after this, he said, one night he was asleep in his bedroom, and he awakes to this sound of scratching. And he said the scratching sounds were coming from his window. And he said when he looked over in the direction towards his window, he sees the shadow appear, and it's almost in the shape of a person. And he said the shadow just moved across the wall, all the way around him to the other side of his bed. And he said the next thing he knows, something was holding him down. He could not move, and he was panicking and freaking out. And then he said, all of a sudden, it was gone. And he got up and he said, you know, that must have just been a really crazy dream. So he said, you know, this kept happening to him. He kept having this, what he thought at the time was a dream. Well, one day he said he was out on his land setting up some traps. And he said he happened to notice in the snow there was all of this weird movement. And he said, what is that in the snow? So he goes a little closer, he grabs a tree branch, and he moves the snow over. And he said out popped several rats. And he said that's when he realized these rats were eating a deer carcass. And he said it was just so sickening that he had to start vomiting. And he said as he was bent over vomiting into the snow, he looks up, and there is the guy Fox. And he said the guy was just standing there staring at him. And he's like, hey, what are you doing out here on my property? And he said Fox looked at him and said, you seen the deer? And he said, yeah. And he said, you see, a lot of weird things happen in these woods. And then he said he turned and just walked away. So he said, you know, that was like a really weird encounter. Like, did he have something to do with that deer or whatever? So he said, you know, next couple of days, he really kept having these nightmares where he would see this shadowy thing in his room. And then he said this one particular night, he was sitting by the fireplace and he was just contemplating life. And he said all of a sudden, the next thing he knows, he just stood up. He started walking towards the door. He opened the front door of the cabin and he starts walking out into the woods. And he said it was weird. It was like he knew what he was doing, but he couldn't control it. And something was just drawing him into the woods deeper and deeper. So he said finally he stops and he's just surrounded by trees. It's completely dark. And he said the next thing he knows, he hears his father's voice say, son, come here, it's your father. And he said out of the shadows steps that guy Fox again. And he said, it's me, I'm your father, come here, come give your father a hug. And Jim's just kind of like, no, you're not my father, my father's not here anymore. And he's like, no, I am your father, like I've been here the whole time, come give me a hug. And he said he just like didn't trust this guy, he thought he was crazy. And he said all of a sudden this guy's skin began to peel off. And he said that's when he could see this wasn't his father, this wasn't a man, this was this pale white skinny creature with sharp teeth, sharp claws, and these bright yellow eyes. And he said this thing said to him, I said, come here now. And the voice had changed.
Kanye West has said a lot of crazy things. I think we can all agree on that. But one of the things he said that may have been right, all of these rights have been taken from me by the Kardashian mob, Hulu and Disney.
Bro, that was the craziest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. What's creepier than the TikToks we're about to watch today is the fact that 90% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, so make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe for more creepy videos. Thank you.
Damn, Kai. What the bruh? Y'all, this is crazy, bruh. They got Kai, y'all. I don't think he knew, y'all. I honestly don't think he really knew. But damn, this happened in front of 150,000 people. 150,000 people witnessed this. If you know, you know. I can't say too much. But just look at this video. No,
Who the hell is
bruh.
that in the chat? Say me.
No.
It's like some kiss shit.
Dog, this is wild, fool. Oh my God, look. Look at his face paint, y'all. If you know, you know. I can't say too much. TikTok, this is strictly...
Don't talk. Don't talk to me. Say, ghost man. Ghost man, ghost man. Ghost man, you say yes. Your eyes stupid. You don't like you. Anywhere. Yeah. You want to talk to me, ghost? Uh-huh. You want to talk? You want to talk, ghost? You want to talk to me? I'm gonna beat you up. Cause you don't be quiet. Now. Now go. Go, ghost.
The toddler seems to be speaking to an invisible entity that he has named, quote, Ghost Man. The boy even goes so far as to threaten to beat up Ghost Man.
I'm gonna beat you up. Cause if you don't be quiet. Now.
The little boy even yells for the ghost to leave.
Now go. Whoa.
As creepy as this clip is, he is standing on business because, like, I feel like if you were this age and you seen a ghost, you would be like scared. You know what I mean? Most people would just run away, scream. Like, he's really, you know, he's not letting this ghost do nothing. I don't even think this video would be possible to be staged, because how could you even convince someone this young to stage a video like this or fake this? You know, obviously there's a certain point in our life where we become conscious and start realizing things. We'd be able to do something like this, but this seems like a very genuine experience that's caught on camera, and that makes it way more terrifying because this just shows you there could be some sort of paranormal out there that we don't know about. He was not letting this ghost take his house. He was like, yo, you're gonna have to get through me if you want to take this house. So, you know, you gotta respect it, but, you know, y'all stay blessed, stay safe, all that, because, you know, if anything, if y'all need security, if your house is haunted, you know, hire him because he's on it.
Yo, what's going on with Miley Cyrus? This was her and her Gucci sponsorship, and something is very off because it's giving like witch. Like, it's literally giving witch. And mind you, I don't mean this in a rude way because I love Miley Cyrus, and I'm just like, what does it profit a man to gain the whole entire world but loses his soul? I keep saying this time and time again. And we know that she just mocked God, saying that she believed that God was gay in her interview last month. And then, you get what I'm saying? But the crazy thing is, it's not just that photo. Like, it's all of the photos. And the eyes, they do not lie. Mind you, she was just with Rick Owens. This is his wife, Michelle Lamy, and we know that she is a self-professing witch. It's nothing, she's not hiding it. She's straight raw with it. She did an interview with them and things like that. And I feel like all of this since then, she has been kind of seeming soulless. We talked about Jenna Ortega and a lot of these other artists who seem to have had a light in their eyes before, and now they don't. And you have to pose the question, why is that? What is going on? Let me say this again. I love Miley Cyrus. I just don't love what she has become.
A man was staying at his grandfather's house late at night when he started hearing noises coming from the basement and decided to wake his grandpa up to go check it out.
Cálmate. Estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. Venga a nosotros tu reino. Hágase su voluntad. ¡Ay! ¡Abuelo! ¡Ay! ¡Ay! Ábrele, a ver quién es. Ábrele. No pasa nada. Ay, abuelo. No hay nada. A ver, ve, fíjate. ¡Ay! ¡Otra vez, abuelo! ¡Es un pinche mono! ¡Abuelo! ¡Ciérrale! ¡Llámale a la policía! ¡Saca tu teléfono! Calmado. Tengo miedo.
He thought maybe someone broke into the house, but after catching a glimpse of it, they believe it's a shadow thing.
You know that video of the people that go like this with their hands and then they lift somebody up?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Fam, it's going re-viral again. And people are trying to like debunk it and everything, but it keeps working.
Word.
And you know where it comes from?
What?
It's like 1, 2, 3, and then light as a feather or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they lift them up with fingers, and they couldn't do it before.
Yeah.
So what people are saying, that specific like magic or ritual, that came straight from like old witchcraft, bro.
Word. So it's actually a ritual if you say it. Spells are a real thing. Like why did that one get leaked though? Like imagine how much other ones that could be played as a trend like that.
Bro, we don't know, fam.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
for all we know, even the English we're saying is spells. That's why I call it spelling.
Oh my god. That's a freaking fun.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Holy fuck.
Even the English we say is spells, because that's why they call it spelling.
This is why you shouldn't explore the woods alone.
Stop me. Please.
Dee from These Dark Adventures was hiking alone through a trail somewhere in the woods of Ohio when she begins to hear movement through the bushes like something's following her.
I gotta go through there, man. I don't want to try to find my stuff from there.
Scared that whatever's moving behind her catches up to her, she decides to make her way back before sundown. But as it begins to get dark, she finds herself enveloped in darkness, and as she keeps watch for her surroundings, she sees this.
Yeah. Hi. Hi. Yeah. Yeah. I can go home. Oh. Yeah. Sorry. No! Stop, please. Please.
Hidden within the woods, this massive 10 feet tall black silhouette with glowing eyes can be seen, emerging from the dark. As Dee runs in a panic, she makes her way out to an open field and sees this thing closing in on her.
What is that? It's a spin. What is it? Dude, no! It looks like a person, man. But no person. It looks like a fucking person. Stop. That ain't a person. That ain't a person. Ah! It just keeps getting up and down and down. Stop! I can't run. Somebody drive by.
After some time, she's able to make it out safe.
I feel like if you're gonna do these type of videos and do this type of work, you're gonna probably need to be more fit for survival, because if you're in the woods and this creature is following you, you know, you're gonna want to be able to protect yourself or at least escape. Like, I'm pretty sure a dark figure that is following you in the woods doesn't really care about your safety to begin with. So, you know, I mean, if this video is fake, then whatever, but like in a real scenario, I feel like she's cooked. I'm not like an expert on, you know, creatures or monsters or whatever's in the forest at night, but I'm pretty sure they lack sympathy for whoever they're stalking. I feel like, you know, if they had sympathy, they wouldn't be stalking someone in general. You know, this video is really creepy. I'm not sure what that creature is or what it could be. You know, you can't see the glowing eyes, so it does leave a lot of questions and mystery, but you guys let me know what you think about this one.
This is probably the scariest case to come out of the Appalachian Mountains. Now, this one is personal to me because I actually worked on this case. Now, I had a friend who lived in North Carolina, and he was a paranormal investigator. He reaches out to me one day and is like, hey, so I got this weird case, and, you know, I'm kind of stumped. Like, could you help me with it? Apparently, there was this Native American family who lived on the reservation, and they had a daughter who was like 16 or 17, and at the time, she was getting dropped off from a friend's house one night at her parents' home. Well, her friend drops her off, and she said when she got out of the car, she had to walk down this like bumpy, gravelly, muddy road. And she said as she's walking down this gravel road, and right next to her, you know, is the woods. she sees this man standing on the side of the road. And she said he had this black hat on, a black cloak, and she said she couldn't really see his face at the time because it was turned. She said as she walked a little closer to him, he turned his face, and she said he had no mouth, no nose, but these solid red eyes, and he was just staring at her. Well, she said, you know, she walked as fast as she could to the house, and this man began, like, following her. So she runs inside her house, and she's, like, screaming, crying at this time. Her dad's like, what's going on? Like, why are you crying? She said, there's this man out there in a hat, and, like, he was following me. So her dad runs out of the house and just starts looking for this guy. He doesn't find anyone. He doesn't see anything. And he's like, you sure there was a guy out there? And she's like, yeah, I seen him. Like, he was on the road, and he was, like, followed me to the house. So a couple weeks pass, and they start noticing that their daughter is waking up at night from having these terrible dreams, that she is seeing this man in her room. And not only that, she is waking up with these scratches all over her body. In the next coming months, right, there was something banging on the windows, banging on the doors, right? They could hear scratching sounds coming from the roof all night long, except when the father would go and investigate and try to figure out what was going on, like, he couldn't find anything. And then one night, the daughter is having, like, this terrible nightmare, and the mother in the other room, she could hear this going on. So she walks over to her bedroom, which the door is halfway open. She looks in, and she said she could see a man standing next to her bed with this hat and this cloak on. She goes in her room, she flips on the lights, and she said it was gone. And not only this thing was, you know, attacking, this girl was attacking their home. It had left scratch marks on the truck, on the home. There were claw mark footprints all around the home. These are real pictures from some of the damage that it was causing and the scratch marks that it left on this girl. Now, I started looking into this case, and I started researching what we come to know today as the Hatman. And as I got deeper into this case, I started to notice weird things were happening to me. Like, I lived up in Chicago at the time, and one night I'm asleep, and I just remember it was 3 a.m. I wake up to the sound of a scream, and I'd never heard anything like that before. So I immediately jump up. I think someone's in the house. Like, what is going on? I searched my entire home. There was no one there. The doors were locked. The windows were closed. So as I'm getting ready to go back to bed, I walk past the living room, and as I turn, sitting in a lazy boy recliner is what looks like a man in a cloak and a hat, just rocking. And I look again, he's gone. But I could see movement of the chair, and that's someone obviously had bumped it or had been sitting in it. And that, like, sent chills down my back. And I immediately, like, went into the bedroom, closed the door. And mysteriously, as all of this started, it just one day stopped. And to me, what I thought personally was this was a case of the Hatman.
Yeah, Lil Nas X is cooked. But y'all, the video, his face, something going on, fool. He looked like he lost, like, did I really do this? I'm telling y'all, something was going on with Buddy. He was possessed to some shit, and I know why. Because he chose to be on the other side. Y'all see what happened when you go against God, right? Prime example. He has on Fruit of the Looms. His favorite candy is Fruities. He didn't mock God so many times, y'all. But y'all, look at this video and y'all tell me I'm not tripping. Like, he just looked like, damn, I don't know what the hell was going on. Look at this man's face, y'all. He just looked like he dumbfounded, like he just lost for words. Like he really don't know what happened that night. Am I tripping? Look at him. He don't even look like the same person. Go back and watch that video when he was outside. They don't look like him, fool. They look like two different people. Tell me I'm lying. If I'm lying, I'm flying. And I'm damn sure not flying. This man is now facing 4 counts. If he ever wanted to get out that system, he could go ahead.
The following footage is from an elderly woman by the name of Vicky. She's home alone when she captures something staring at her from an empty room. There are no pets there or inside. She has no idea what it is. But the thing is, this isn't the first time this has happened to her, and it's absolutely terrifying. I also want to make note, her typical posts to social media are about her life and her home and the outdoors, but nothing paranormal. So this is totally out of the blue, and it's terrifying her. Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
It's back. It keeps peeking in here on me. Oh my goodness gracious, what the hell? Ain't nobody in the other room.
My first question is, what do you mean it's back? You've seen this thing before and you're still in this house? Like, that is like ridiculous to me. Okay, if it was like a little animal or something, I would understand. Okay, you know, it's a little creepy, whatever. But like, that is, that's like a disturbing face. I don't know what that is. It's really not even the creature that's worrying me at this point. It's the fact that she said it's back. So that means she's seen this before and she is still in the same spot. How are you going to see something like this and be like, oh yeah, this is a great idea to stay here still? You know, I really hope this is fake, because whatever that thing is, it's just terrifying. So yeah.
They say every single holiday that we celebrate is celebrating one of the 7 deadly sins. Okay. Think about it. So Valentine's Day represents lust for obvious reasons. Now, Thanksgiving, that celebrates the sin of gluttony.
Gluttony, yeah, because you're
eating a lot. You're overeating. You're taking too much more than you need.
Yeah.
Now, Christmas, what do you think that is?
Christmas. Greed?
Greed. Yeah. Overconsumption and excess.
Okay.
Right? Wanting more of something.
That makes sense.
We're celebrating gifts. We're celebrating gifts. We're not really even celebrating like the birth of Christ, because people are so focused on the gifts and shit. Now, Easter. This one's interesting.
I don't know.
The holiday of Easter, what sin would it be?
I don't know.
Check this out. This one gets deep. They say it's envy, because the Romans were jealous of Jesus, so they murdered him.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Shit.
So St. Patrick's Day, it's sloth, because people get blacked out drunk.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Now Halloween, it's wrath. Okay. So scaring and hurting people for fun. With masks, it's wrath.
Under this arrangement, Rife and Cassidy have become the legal guardians of the entire Warren artifact collection, over 750 pieces, including the infamous Annabelle doll, for a minimum of 5 years. Though they now control the property, ownership of the artifacts remains with the Warren estate. This haunting acquisition comes just weeks after the unexpected death of Dan Rivera, a seasoned paranormal investigator and longtime caretaker of Annabelle. Rivera passed away suddenly while touring with the doll, a development that stunned the paranormal community and added a chilling prelude to Rife's announcement.
There's one thing that always fascinates all of us, and that is our oceans and what exactly is in them, because we don't know everything that is in our oceans. And with all these underwater earthquakes, volcanoes, these tsunamis, has it stirred things up from the deep? Take a look at this footage that was captured by a man named Gadiel out of Long Island, New York. Around August 22nd, 2025, he was at the beach when he captured something that looks like a sea serpent. Whatever it is, it's really long. And no, I don't believe this is driftwood. This is something else. Take a look at this footage. Comment below. Tell me what you think.
So we are here today to discuss the upcoming year's plan. Of course, I am representing the capstone of the pyramid, the Council of the 13. We are the true rulers of this planet. There are no outliers. We are the left, and we are the right. Here to say how you was. All major policies flow through us. So for all those who don't know, this is how the structure works. At the bottom of the pyramid you have the debt slaves. This is 80% of the world. They are born. They are schooled. They then become the labor force, retire, grave. Then comes the controllers. These controllers are the ones who influence and exploit the 80%. So government, media, and academics. Then comes the world population control. Now, unfortunately, I cannot discuss this level with all in here because not all of you have reached the level on the pyramid, so I cannot reveal the secrets of this degree. But to all my disciples who have reached the 33rd degree, I will speak in the secret Mason tongue. Next are the corporations, who I can see the heads are among us. You are the major influencers. We need you to innovate. You play an important role on the emerging markets. So keep up the good work. The World Resource Control. Again, this is restricted to the 33-degree members only. The next up is the tax and interest revenue, and of course the central bank control, the money supply. They are how we control the masses. Money based on literally nothing. We call it fiat money. Then above that is, of course, the central banking system, or World Bank. Then above that are the think tanks, like this one, the Bilderberg Group, Council of Foreign Relations, the United Nations. Then comes the subfamilies, and above that, the Committee of 300. Now, at the top of the pyramid is me, and the other Council of 13. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please listen, as I lay out the plan for the upcoming year.
Kanye West has said a lot of crazy things. I think we can all agree on that. But one of the things he said that may have been right is the situation with his children. Now, this picture is going viral of Northwest, his daughter, and Northwest's mother, Kim Kardashian. But this picture is going viral. Why? Because Northwest is 12 years old. And yes, I had to double check the age too. It is 12 years old, and you can only imagine the type of backlash and controversy happened all over the internet after that picture was uploaded. Now, this is what Kanye said. I don't want to just see my kids. I want to raise them. I need to have a say of where they go to school, who their friends are, and who houses they sleep in. My daughters wear lipstick and perfume. All of these rights have been taken from me by the Kardashian mob, Hulu, and Disney, and the bigger agenda to use the selectivity bred black children to be platformed to influence other black people. Of course, you went on a rant, but he's basically saying his child was taken from him by the Kardashians, Hulu, and Disney, and it's all for a bigger agenda.
These are such crazy things to hear, and especially from someone so influential and so powerful that we all really know. It's really interesting to me when people that have everything just kind of step out and try to look out for the people and expose everything. You know, obviously they can't just come out and say everything, so they have to do it very subtly, and you know, they either get labeled as crazy or, you know, they just lose everything. So a lot of people don't want to take that risk, but you know, it's kind of respectable when people go against what's wrong and they try to look out for the people and expose all this stuff. Obviously one person can't do it. A lot of people need to come together, but you know, hopefully that day comes, because there's a lot of sick stuff going on in the world, and you know, it's got to stop.
Liberal ABC Digital wanted to give you the opportunity to swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon. Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
Gentlemen. Mr. Cybro.
Yes? If you really walked on the moon, why would you not do that? So why don't you just put the into the record in the argument and put your hand on the Bible, swear to God you walked on the moon.
Mr. Cybro, knowing you, that's probably a fake Bible.
Really? Well, no, it's a real Bible. You have the opportunity to have $5,000.
The meeting is not open.
Well, you have $5,000 cash. You can give it to charity if you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon.
Please
I have
give
the
it to
tape.
charity. It'd be fine.
Why don't you swear to? Why not? Why won't you do it? So why don't you put your hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
Mr. Seibel has made a fool of himself in front of the world. Mr. Seibel, you do not deserve.
Illuminati? That don't bother me. Yeah. I mean, I wish I was Illuminati. I'd be probably a billionaire. People always talking this Illuminati stuff. Show me Illuminati. Show me the money, please. I had to work for every penny I got so far. Ain't no Illuminati come and help me with nothing. I'm saying, I personally, man, I believe in God. I'm a I'm a man who fears God, and I pray to God, you know, and I don't go to church that often. I'm not gonna lie, you know, not because I'm not religious. I just don't got the time to.
I don't exist. So they're all characters that I played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character, because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character. I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
Oh my God! Dad? Why? Oh my God! Please don't hurt me.
Nggak tahu. Kenapa? Kok makin kencang sih? Hujan loh ini. Yuk, yuk masuk yuk. Siapa ini? Kenapa? Yuk masuk yuk. Kena hujan nanti, kena hujan. Yuk kena hujan yuk. Ayo yuk. Kena hujan nanti. Yuk masuk yuk. Ayo masuk. Masuk ayo. Kenapa kamu kenapa?
I understand being a sympathetic person and, you know, looking out for people and always trying to care for them. But in this scenario, this is like proceed with caution. This just looks like something straight out of a horror movie. If you see someone sitting there still crying, I mean, like, there's really only so much you could do. Obviously, you could talk to them, but if they're not answering back to you, it should just make you kind of curious and to be more aware and kind of keep yourself safe because, you know, obviously it's very erratic behavior that's not normal. Like, if anybody was just kind of crying and you say something to them, they're going to kind of give you some attention, or like, even if they don't want to speak, they'll kind of like give you some of their attention. This just seemed very like eerie and creepy. So I understand being caring and, you know, looking out for people, but still got to care about yourself too.
Let's talk about Nicki Minaj. Here we see her throwing up the trademark one-eye symbolism that we see all throughout Hollywood. Here we see it again on this magazine cover, as well as here you see her with one eye painted over. And who could forget her famous Grammys performance that drew national attention and not for the right reasons? Play the clip. Not only is she depicted throughout the entire performance as literally being possessed, which so many of these celebrity stars depict themselves as that, but there is also a priest. It's just a mess. But around the time that she really started taking off in the rap game, we saw some disturbing interviews. One I'm going to play right now where she's talking about her alter ego, who she named Roman. Roll it.
A crazy boy who lives in me, and he says the things that I don't want to say. He was born, just a few months ago. I think he was born out of rage. He was conceived in rage, so he bashes everyone. He threatens to beat people, and he's violent.
That must be nice to have like an ignorant loudmouth who you can just sort of blame
He wants to be blamed. I don't want to blame him. I ask him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People have brought him out. People conjured him up. Now he won't leave.
And to be honest with you guys, Nicki Minaj is just one of very many of these celebrities who embrace an alter ego, whether they go on stage or through music videos, symbolism, etc. He literally states he's been conjured up inside of her. She wants him to leave, but he won't leave. And he says all the things she's afraid to. Wake up.
Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your favorite part of the video. What made you tremble in your boots. And we're going to be on to the next one.